And welcome back. It is the Wendy's Big Show. We're broadcasting through our Reinhold Electric Studios online at reinholdelectric.com. We're here at 026 Pub and Beer Garden in Fenton having a wonderful lunch. 10 different wing flavors to choose from. It's all you can eat wings every Monday evening. Joining us now on our Edge phone lines is attorney Bob Hilliard with the firm Hilliard, Munoz, and Gonzalez. Bob, good afternoon and welcome to the show. How are you?
Afternoon, guys. I hope you're enjoying your wings.
We are.
We are.
Fabulous.
Delightful. So tell us a little bit about the lawsuit. And what's unfair for really almost any lawsuit is often the way it's reported. We can only go by what a reporter wrote about it. And on its face, as an outsider, we feel like we're inundated with frivolous lawsuits and that sort of thing. Although we were just talking about it, Bob, before you came on, and fan safety is, we love the topic of fan safety, but we wonder about the lawsuit. Give us your take, just kind of a thumbnail overall.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a legitimate topic. This lawsuit seeks only one thing, and that is the extension of the safety netting in order to protect fans. That's it, period. This isn't a lawsuit seeking money damages as a result of someone having a near miss. This is a season ticket holder who understands the dangers, and like many, including the baseball players themselves, who have twice petitioned the owners to extend the nets, and the manager of the Yankees who last week said, look, I saw this lady in Yankee Stadium, almost get killed. This is
right.
An idea whose time has come. And so in preparing for the lawsuit, what we discovered is you got 35 to 40 foul balls a game that literally go rocketing into the stands. And some of those, depending on the speed, will hit a fan that's even paying attention, close attention. And there's nothing that fan can do reaction time-wise before the fan suffers an injury or, hopefully not, but, some foul balls have killed people.
And so tell me the angle you're trying to take. And again, I'm only going off a story as reported, and I'm wondering if what the reporter talked about with the woman in Oakland, the example didn't seem like it would sway me as a judge, because as a customer, you have choices you can make, and you have reasonable understandings and knowledge of what you're getting into, the assumption of risk. So I'm wondering how what we read anecdotally about her can help you win a lawsuit.
Yeah, so she is a representative of a class of people. That is the ticket holders who are in the zone of danger. And you're right, assumption of the risk has been the traditional way that ballparks have defended these cases, saying, look, you knew you were coming to a ballpark, you knew foul balls would be hit. However, the rebuttal to that is actual knowledge of the danger and actual knowledge that there is nothing a fan can do. You can assume some risk based on your own negligence. But if you go to a ballpark and you have seats anywhere not behind the netting, and the wrong foul ball comes at the right speed, you, one of your children, your spouse, and they get hit with that ball, they're going to suffer severe injury. So then, if you're in this lawsuit, the evidence necessary is to put on proof of both the severity of the injury, the inability of a fan to protect him or herself depending on the speed of the foul ball, and what the standard of care is. Let me finish this thought and then I'll give it back to you. The commissioner of baseball said 2 days ago, look, this is a minimum standard because there's no rule that the Major League Baseball Association gives the stadiums as to how far to extend the netting behind home plate. That you can extend it as far or not as far as you choose to, depending on the specific stadium. So then, what he's saying is saying, look, this is a minimum standard. You can do more if you want to protect the safety of your fans. And quite frankly, since we filed the lawsuit, the only thing that seems to rebut it is, well, it might affect the fan experience or those who want to catch foul balls. Yeah. But I was watching the Oakland A's and I think maybe the Mariners on a YouTube clip the other day where a foul ball hit by one of the A's players really injured someone, and you see it in the face of the guy that hit the foul ball.
Yeah.
You see how worried he is about it, and then the commentators were simply, during the dead time, were simply discussing the idea of extending the nets, and one of them brought up an important point, and that is, Japan likes its Major League Baseball about as much as we do, and every one of their huge stadiums has netting that goes down both foul lines. And it's just a simple safety issue that will, as a fact, save serious injuries.
Well, if I love the intent of trying to make stadiums safe. I'm all for that. I'm just not so sure that if a lady sits in her seats and then says, you know what, Oakland Athletics, I'm not safe here, and they would refuse to move her to a safe seat, exchange her tickets. Let's talk, you may not be familiar with Busch Stadium in St. Louis, but if it's truly a concern, and I'm not trying to make a point, but I'm just concerned about my kids biting into a hot dog and not watching the game, that sort of thing, go to the upper deck. I'm sure the ball club would accommodate. So that is my only fear for your ultimate goal, that I'm not sure that her argument holds water for me anyway.
Well, no, that's a fair point, but keep in mind, even those folks that want to sit there, and you can look at any game and you can see young children on the first row of both foul lines all the time.
I have little kids. It's scary. I'm with you. I agree.
Yeah, and so my point is, it doesn't matter if. Well, before I get to that point, I will also tell you something I learned is that ballparks, they want interaction with the fans. They've improved their Wi-Fi. They have big screen contests where you can text your answers to. So there is intentional distractions, which are part of the experience, and they're a good thing. Absolutely great. But the problem is when you're sitting on not even the front row, you can be on the second section up. And you've seen foul balls that come rocketing in, and they're turning as they're going in, and over and over and over again inside the lawsuit, we cite specific examples of folks paying attention, saw the ball coming, and there was nothing they could do. Where a simple net would have prevented the ball from entering the stands. And the only downside is you're not going to get the opportunity to catch the screaming line drives. The looping, lazy foul balls will get over the nets and still can get into the stands.
Bob Hilliard is our guest of the law firm Hilliard, Munoz, and Gonzalez. And Bob, that's the thing that I don't understand, that I'm interested in hearing if you've gotten a response on, or in your research during this lawsuit, if you've got this answer for me. And I know you can't compare sports necessarily, but hockey, it took a kid getting killed in the crowd for them to put up the net. So, and as a fan of hockey, the net in front of you does not take away from the watching of the game's action whatsoever.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Having seats down there, I notice no difference. And the best seats in baseball are right behind home plate, and you're always through a net. Always. You've always been behind a net. The very best seat is right behind home plate, and you've always had a net. So my problem is, other than those that don't want to look through a net, what is baseball's response to why they haven't done this already? Is it the cost of the netting? I mean, which it can't be.
No,
so is it just
absolutely not? No,
I
think it's this. So baseball is America's sport, and this is a significant move. I believe extremely necessary for safety reasons, and so they're cautious. My expectation is, given Mr. Manfred's response a couple of days ago, is they are going to implement this at the beginning of next season. I would be surprised if they didn't. The movement had started long before this lawsuit. The players have twice petitioned the owners to do it in 2 collective bargaining sessions. The players' contracts allow for their own family members to only sit behind the netting. The country's best super agent, who represents many of these players, came out in favor of this, and he took. I'm sorry, whoever's position just said the netting doesn't affect your visual enjoyment of the game. He took that position too. He says, I always sit behind the netting, and you don't notice it, and it's fine.
Yeah. It
So again, you're going to have traditional baseball fans who will sound the alarm that, lawsuits aren't about safety, but this one truly is about safety. And Miss Payne from the Oakland A's is simply a representative member of folks who could be injured or killed. The lawsuit is about 60 pages, and we go through, a baseball manager that was hit by a line drive in the dugout, didn't survive. You may recall here in Texas, up at, I think, the Fresno Stadium outside of Dallas, the first base coach was hit with a line drive and didn't survive, and they implemented helmets for a first base coach.
Yeah.
And again, the point is, baseballs can be lethal if they come fast enough. And then you have, civilians, kids and just folks who are coming for a family experience at a baseball game. They don't want to keep stats. They don't want to pay attention. They want the experience of it. And I think putting a net up is not much to ask to assure yourselves that there will be safety in regards to a ball coming 100 miles an hour at potentially the head of a child.
Hey, Bob, great insight today. We appreciate it, and I think it does do a lot to clarify some of the stories that are going out there. I mean, in the best way to summarize it, this is not this lady's attempt to sue and get money or to get something out of it other than to try to improve the safety at Major League Baseball games.
That's right. I mean, she's a diehard Oakland fan. She's been a season ticket holder for 50 years. She loves her A's. And there are, and since the lawsuit has been filed, many like her have reached out to us saying, me too. I feel the same way. And, we all collectively hold our breaths every time we see a foul ball going rocketing into the stands.
True.
Bob, thank you for the info and your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
That's Bob Hilliard of the law firm Hilliard, Munoz, and Gonzalez, involved in the class action lawsuit against Major League Baseball.